Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Professor Meenakshi from Animal Biotechnology, Luas, Hisar. Today we are going to discuss about our module methods of construction of recombinant animal vector for gene transfer into cell lines under paper Animal Cell Biotechnology. So students, let us use learning objectives of this module. Number 1, what are cloning vectors? What are viral vectors? How they differ from cloning vectors? Type of viral vectors and application of viral vectors. So cloning vectors, they are the vectors used to amplify single molecule of DNA into many copies, just like xeroxing of the paper into the machine. A cloning vector is a DNA molecule that has an origin of replication and is capable of replicating into the bacterial cell. Most vectors are genetically engineered plasmids or phages. They are also cosmids, bacterial artificial chromosomes, BACs, and yeast artificial chromosome, YACs. Extensively used for gene transfer in both preferential and clinical studies. So, very important are the retroviral vectors. They integrate efficiently into the host DNA of infected cells, resulting in stable gene expression, which is very important factor. Well suited for certain gene therapy applications. Retroviruses, they infect the target cells through a specific interaction between the viral envelope proteins and a large cell surface receptors. It becomes uncoated when linearized and RNA reverse transcribed into proviral double-stranded DNA using the viral encoded Pol gene. The double-stranded DNA transported to nucleus and integrated into the host DNA using a virally encoded integrase. This is the enzyme from the virus. Integrated provirus is transcribed producing viral gag, pol, and envelope proteins which allow packaging of unpolarized viral RNA containing the PSI site. Then gag polypeptide, they binds directly to the viral RNA to facilitate the packaging into the virions. Infected cell stably produces viruses by budding them from the envelope or ENV coated cell membranes. Among different viral vectors, retroviruses, they are very important viral vectors. The major characteristics of these viruses are that they exist as a provirus in the host genome, and they have very powerful promoter. Retrovirus genomes, they can accommodate change to its configuration because of integration. They can be a part of the host genome. Like HIV is very good example of this virus causing infection in human beings. As you see in the picture, different genes are there, of which we have the terminal repeats, and major genes are GAG, POL, and ENV means, and ENV means they are for envelope. So retroviruses, they are enveloped viruses, and they have packaging signals having poly A tails, and when they replicate, they produce cell line membrane, and then when during replication they form the envelope, and then they form the matrix and the core, which is the gene responsible for this is the GAG. After that, the virus enters into they form the capsid. When they enter into the target cell, attached through the target cell membrane, receptors are there. They bind to the receptor, because you know that for HIV infection caused by this virus, many research are being done on the receptors of the HIV. Scientists are working on these receptors so that they avoid the entry of the virus into the host cell, because if they block the receptors, the entry of the virus can be blocked. This virus has reverse transcription and integration into the host cell, and during application all the genes they form their products and virus particle is being produced. So how we can produce the infectious retroviral vectors into the laboratory? We know that we have terminal repeats left and right. Then we have two genes, GOL1, GOL2. They enter into the host cells and they package into the cells. When during packaging, the ENV, GAG and POL gene they play major roles, and then they infect the target cells and they come out of the cells through penetrating the cell membrane. The cell lines that express the three viral proteins GAG, POL, ENV, they have been generated called packaging of the cells as shown in the picture. The vector introduced into the packaging cells either transient or stably by transfection. So through transfection we can have the infectious viral vector into the laboratory for further applications. Commercially different type of viral vectors using retroviruses have been designed expressing single or multiple genes. They are commercially available or can be produced in the laboratory, which is very tedious job, very laborious, and we need expertise while producing these type of vectors. So different steps are being listed into the figure, which shows the preparation or designing of these vectors using different genes. In the figure A, we have the type of vector which is commercially known as N2. Then we have omega vector 2 which is known as LN. Then we have by insertion of two more segments we have spikes, and they are available with different names MFQ. Then we have another insertions and we have splicing, and different vector can be produced by adding different components as you see in E, F, G, H and I, depending upon the requirement, depending upon the gene we want to express, and depending upon the purpose for which we want to use the viral vector, we can produce or generate the vectors into a laboratory, or we can find them commercially also. Viral vectors are the adenovector system. They are fast and reliable. Only 3 easy steps to generate recombinant adenoviruses, fully compatible with the AdEasy vector system. They are commercially available. They are highest level of protein expression available using our unique CMV5 promoter, which is 20 to 30% TCP. Rapid identification and quantification of co-expressed genes of interest using GFP or BFP. Then comprehensive kit components, instructions, manual and specialized after scale technical support is available commercially from the manufacturers. Deletion of E1 and E3 regions are there, renders the virus replication defective. E1 being essential, it is complemented in a specifically designed packaging cell line 293, which is commercially available. Makes room for gene of interest. Gene of interest is cloned into a transfer vector. Gene of interest is transferred into the viral genome by homologous recombination. The another virus is the adenovirus, which can be used as a adenovirus vector. The basic principle for producing this type of vector is that we exploit the robust and efficient E. coli homologous recombination system used to develop these vectors. There is no in vitro ligation or tedious manipulations of a large DNA. Basically, this is a three-step process. We clone the cDNA in a transfer vector, then in vivo homologous recombination takes place in bacteria, and finally the virus production is there using cell line 293, which is commercially available from ATCC. We can import the cells, but they are very difficult to maintain, and while handling these cells we should be very careful, because these cells have been produced from the cancerous tissues or cancerous cell lines. So this is the pictorial depiction of the construction of the vector from adenoviruses. We can have cloning vector and we can have transfer vectors or the expression vectors. So as in the figure, we have the replication sites, we have the multiple cloning sites, we have the RE sites which can be cut and gene of interest can be introduced. Then we have another transfer vectors for which we have origin of replication, we have left and right arms, and then kanamycin as an indicator antibiotic, and we can insert gene of interest into the multiple cloning sites, and we have cDNA with the poly A tails. So different parts have been labeled, and these EcoR1 and BAMH1, they are the restriction enzymes, can be used for to cut the vector DNA and the gene of interest we want to insert. Then there is co-transfection into the bacteria, and selection is done by the kanamycin, and then when we have this finally constructed vector, we have to test it into a laboratory, and this is now the recombinant adenovirus vector, can be used for production of different gene products, or it can be linearized, and in the linearized form we can introduce gene of interest, and finally we can have the viral vector which can be grown into the animal cell lines. This is the cartoon of the adenovirus showing attachment of the virus to the cell surface receptor. As I told you that cell surface receptors, they are very important for attachment of the virus, and this is the first step of entry into the host cells. So if we block this receptor, we can stop the entry of the virus into the host cell. Lots of work is going on, and scientists, they are working for the procedure to block these receptor sites, and when these receptors, they bind to the virus and protein, there is virus attachment with the host cells. As you know the structure of virus, there is pentone base, there is one fiber, there is one knob. All these proteins are generated by various genes, and receptor 1 is the CAR protein, which helps in virus attachment, through which the virus gets entry into the host cell. Then there is receptor number 2, which is integrins, and which helps in the virus internalization, means virus gets entry into the host cell. So through receptor 1, it attached to the virus through receptor 2, it gets entry into the cell, and this process is known as the endocytosis. When these viruses they grow into the cell line or the live cells, these particles you can see under electron microscopy in the live cells with the particular shape of the viruses, and these virus particles they are docking at the cell surface, so you can see emerging from the cell surfaces of the infected cells. Once these virus they attach, gets entry into the cell membrane, then the process of internalization of adenovirus into the endosome is there, through which it gets entry into the cell, and later on this virus trapped within the endosome, as you see in the figure. Once it is inside the cell, starts replication. You know that viruses they have the properties that they hijack the machinery of the host cell. So once they get entry into the host cell, they give signals, they give commands, they give signals to the host cell machinery that they stop generating, stop functioning for themselves, and they start working for the virus. So whatever proteins required by the virus are being generated by the host machinery. So this is the hijacking of the host machinery to produce the proteins and other components for development of the virus. So these adenoviruses they accumulate in the nuclei, as you see in the picture, accumulation of the viruses. So these viral vectors have many advantages and some of the disadvantages also. Advantages are they have very broad host range, can infect a broad range of mammalian cells, allows for the expression of recombinant proteins in most mammalian cell lines and tissues, which is good part, and have been used extensively in express the human as well as non-human proteins. The infection and expression of gene in replicative and non-replicative cells. Retroviruses can only infect replicative cells. Transfection cannot be done in non-replicative cells, and best system to study gene expression is primary non-replicative cells. It allows us for a direct comparison of results obtained with transformed cell lines and primary cell lines. So there are several advantages of the adenoviruses based cell vectors which can grow into the cells. The replicates efficiently to high titers, means when we have these vectors, they grow efficiently into the cell lines. They can produce 10 raised to power 10 to 10 raised to power 11 viral particle per ml of the medium. They can be concentrated up to 10 raised to power 13 viral particles per ml of the medium. So very high titer is there, which is not received or we cannot produce with other type of viruses. For example, blue tongue virus, it is very low, 10 raised to 5 or 6 can be grown at the most. So the advantage of this vector is that it can very efficiently grow into the cell line. The helper independent adenovirus can accommodate up to 7.5 kb of foreign DNA. So this is very good quality of this virus vector, because otherwise in other viruses we need assistance by the other cells, but this is helper independent adenovirus. So and very large fragment means 7.5 kb can be accommodated into the vector. The adenovirus they can normally encapsulate a viral DNA molecule slightly bigger than the normal DNA, means 105%. The efficiency of the virus is 105%, more than 100%, which in addition to this provides additional cloning space for the foreign genes. So this is very good property of the virus. Another property is the homologous system for human genes. Means human virus as a vector and human cell as a host can be carried out while using these vectors. Proper folding and exact post-translational modifications of human proteins are there. So in many vectors we don't have these post-translational modifications, and this is the good point of this vector, that we have exact the same proteins which we want to produce. Most human proteins are expressed at high levels and are fully functional when we are using these vectors. There is no insertional mutagenesis, remains epichromosomal. So this is very clean vector, we can use it. Retroviruses, because they integrate randomly into the host chromosome and can inactivate host genes or activate the oncogenes, so they are less preferred as compared to adenoviruses. Adenoviruses, they remain epichromosomal and therefore does not interfere with the other host genes. So we have the exact expression of the genes by using these viruses. Propagation in suspension cultures can also take place. So we can use either adherent culture or we can use the suspension culture for growing these viruses. 293 cells can be adapted to grow in suspension, which is very good point for this virus, and it can allow the production scale up to more than 20 liters, which is the best point of this virus while growing into the cell culture. By using this virus, we can have simultaneous expression of multiple genes. Means many genes of different origin can be expressed simultaneously when cloned into the adenoviruses. Insertion of two genes in a double expression cassette can be carried out. Co-infection using different recombinant viruses, each expressing a different protein, can be carried out when we are using these vectors or viruses, and modulation of the expression by changing the MOI can be done using this virus. Then adenovectors, they co-express with the GFP and BFP. So these two fluorescent proteins give us the indication that our expression system is working fine. Markers of gene expression detectable in living cells with whole organisms. GFP and BFP genes are encoded as the second cistron in the disystonic expression cassette. The gene of interest is cloned into the position of the first cistron. The two cistrons are separated by the encephalomyocarditis virus, internal ribosomal entry site. Adenovector, using this vector we can co-express the GFP protein, means fluorescence, green fluorescence protein can be expressed, which is a very good indicator for expression, to check the expression of the proteins, whether the expression or cloning or the insertion, proper insertion has been taken place or not. If GFP, we see the GFP after recombination, it means the virus genes inserted into the vector, into the virus, they are working fine. So this is a very good indicator, GFP, when we insert into the adenovector. Same way we can express the BFP, which gives the fluorescence, and expression can be checked in proper way when we have co-expression of BFP. So adenovirus vector co-expression with GFP and BFP allows the easy identification of infected cells. When we see under the microscope, fluorescence is there, red and green fluorescence is there with an inverted fluorescence microscope, and this is possible to gauge the level of transgene expression. If these two proteins are expressed in the better way, it means the transgene expression is also in good amount, and it can be used to measure the effectiveness of the gene transfer protocol in vivo when we use these two proteins. Then application of the recombinant vectors. They increase the protein expression. Regular adenovirus with CMV based expression cassettes rarely produce proteins eh, um, exceeding 1 to 2%. The main feature of new vector is the CMV5 promoter, a combination of enhancer sequence that increase the transcriptional and translational activities of the CMV promoter in recombinant adenovirus vectors. So this is the adeno vector with the increased protein expression. So by inserting, because we have multiple gene insertion, we can have better or increased protein expression while using this virus as a vector. The viral vector has CMV5 promoter, which is constructed by the insertion of the adeno tripartite leader sequence AD triple with the adenovirus major lead enhancer bracketed by splice donor and acceptor sites. So this is the very positive point of this vector and the promoter. The ADTPL binds translation initiation proteins much more efficiently than most messages. This is a strategy developed by the virus for efficient translation of the late proteins and was exploited in the expression of the proteins in these vectors. Because of the absence of the viral replication and host protein shutoff, the production host can be maintained in good physiological state for prolonged period, means production of the or expression of the genes can be continued for longer time as it is not toxic for the expression of the inserted gene into the cell, and continuous synthesis of the recombinant protein if secreted in the medium can be obtained. The high level of expression that can be achieved with the adenovirus in non-permissive cells will make it possible to express transgenes at significant high levels in vivo at lower MOIs. Means when we have less number of infection doses, high level of expression can be obtained, and decreasing the toxic side effects associated with the load of adenovirus particles. So by using lower MOIs, the toxic effect can be reduced in this virus. So students, let us summarize what we have learned in this module. We have come to know now that a vector is used to amplify a single molecule of DNA into many copies. A cloning vector is a DNA molecule that has an origin of replication and is capable of replication in bacterial cells. Two different types of viral vectors, retroviral vectors and adenoviral system is there. Retroviral vectors integrate efficiently into the host DNA and infect the cells, resulting in stable gene expression, well suited for certain gene therapy applications.